Okay, here we go. Let's find all the solutions on the interval 0 to 2 pi of the equation cosine of x, cosecant of x, cotangent of x equals 6 minus cotangent squared x. Okay, I'm going to use the reciprocal identities, right, to deal with this right here. This can be simplified, you can tell, right? So this is cosine of x times 1 over sine of x. All right, that's cosecant, times cotangent, which is cosine of x, over sine of x. And if you look at that carefully, you may realize that that's going to be cosine squared over sine squared, which is just cotangent squared. So cotangent squared is equal to 6 minus cotangent squared x. Let's add cotangent squared to both sides. That'll give me 2 cotangent squared x is equal to 6. Let's divide both sides by 2. So cotangent squared x is equal to 3. Let's use the square root property. Cotangent of x is equal to positive and negative the square root of 3. Okay, so to figure out this on my unit circle, I should probably maybe write this in terms of tangent, or at least think about cotangent for what it is. Cotangent is cosine over sine. Okay, cosine over sine. So the only way that I get the square root of 3 for cotangent is when cosine is the square root of 3 over 2. Cosine has to be the square root of 3 over 2. And sine has to be 1/2. That way, if I do cosine over sine, well, then that would be the square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. The 2's would cancel to leave me with the square root of 3. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. So I want the points where cosine is square root of 3 over 2 and sine is 1/2. And that happens at pi over 6. It happens at 5 pi over 6. By the way, I am disregarding the signs, right? It could be positive or negative. Doesn't matter because I need both positive and negative here. Okay, happens at 7 pi over 6. Happens at 11 pi over 6. Okay, so those are the 4 situations where I get square root of 3 or negative square root of 3 for cotangent. So x has to equal pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6. Those are my 4 solutions.